What's good, everyone? It's your boy Salos, back again with another Pokemon. I forgot the name of the series for a second. I am so sorry. What's good, everyone? It's your boy Salos, back again with another Pokemon Emerald Legacy video. And last time, it was just an introductory episode, so this episode we're going to try to get to Roxanne today. We'll do the quickest of quick team recaps because there's not much of a team here. All we have is our starter Torchic, a bashful nature, rocking Scratch, Growl, and Peck. He's not too tough just yet, but just wait, he's gonna be a menace. I know I was dogging on his IVs in the first episode, but honestly, 23 speed is above average. Pretty speedy boy, all things together. Lived up to the name Blazevolt, so can't say too much on that. But let's go into the best Pokemon Center, because the Smith Plays team actually understands that we just kind of mash A. So if I'm mashing A, mashing A, mashing A, it turns you around. How cool is that? I want to kind of dedicate this team to a friend of mine, because this is going to be kind of, I think that all guys at this moment. So, little backstory. When I was little, I think the reason why I have so much to say about Pokemon and just video games in general is because in my area, I know a lot of people say that video games are mainstream or kids they have it so easy. Ooh, nice and crit. Good job, Blazevolt. But the kids have it easy, that they like anime, or anime is mainstream and all that. Case in point, today I'm actually going to MomoCon, which is a convention that happens in my hometown once every year, around April, May. Unfortunately, I don't have the time off, but this is one of our team members we're trying to get, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to scoop this up. I know quite a few people that are gonna be there. I know people from my high school that are gonna be there, people from my college that are gonna be there, people from internet, just in general, just being online are gonna be there. So my point of saying this is that from all walks of life, in this anime convention, there's gonna be a lot of people there. But let's read this first. Wurmple, the worm Pokemon. It sticks to tree branches and eats leaves. The thread it spits from its mouth, which become gooey when it touches air, slows the movement of its foes. So, I also kind of read the Pokedex entries because it kind of helps me understand how to nickname this guy. But that didn't tell me too much. It'd be a male Beautifly, so I guess we're just going to name this thing. I'm not even sure this is how you spell this guy's name. Aaron, the Battle Frontier, not Battle Frontier, the Elite Four member in Sinnoh. I can't even name Aaron's finest. Oh. I made a lot of imported cheese jokes. I don't even know if you guys even know who that is. Yeah, all I'm saying is that when growing up, I think we all know the struggle of.
To all my people in the struggle, you think God's forgotten about you. Here's some pain medicine.
This is the second time it's played through I referenced this song. But I think that anyone who played Pokemon back in the day can attest to how rough it was just being an anime/gaming fan back in the day. But the thing is with me is that it's not even the fact that I was bullied or that I was neglected or people didn't like, ooh, anime. It's just the fact that people just genuinely were not interested in anime. Like, I'm pretty sure when people found out that I played Pokemon or all that type of stuff, their response wasn't, ew, anime, or you got bullied. It was usually met with, can we talk about something that's not Pokemon? So, I want to say, because Pokemon Emerald came out in 2005, always give back. Oh, they even sped up that process? They even sped up this process! I'm telling you, the Smith Plays team, they got it going on. It's like these little changes that they implement are enough to kind of speed up the entire game as a whole. I'm telling y'all. I want to say around 2005, that's when, if you can't tell from all the Kirk Franklin references, that I grew up in a very Christian household. So that was another thing too. Another thing is that I just had a lot of restrictions on my parents on what I could and couldn't play. And some things I kind of just left fizzled out. If I felt like it was an uphill battle, I just wouldn't have really dealt with it. So, Yu-Gi-Oh! Was one of those things. I always had an interest in Yu-Gi-Oh! But my parents were like, oh, they summon demons from cards? Oh. Hiya. Are you maybe a rookie trainer? Do you even know what Pokemon trainers do when they reach a new town? They first check out what kind of gym is in the town. What if I wanted to grind, sir? What if I know the gym is here and I want to train before I go take on the gym leader? Ever think of that? Are you just the type to just say, Leroy Jenkins, just one shot by Norman slacking? That's the kind of trainer you are? My father. What? You're the good-for-nothing dad who left and never came back?
My father.
Huh? You mean you're the good-for-nothing father who left home and never came back?
Wally. I will say, I am actually very curious to see what the Smith Plays team does with Wally in this game, because in Oris, I will say that Wally has become my favorite character in the Pokemon universe, period. Wally is a peak trainer. There's actually a tournament that people did. It was, I can't remember if it was from like college or if it was a YouTube tournament or whatever it was. The premise of the tournament is that you had to use in-game teams. So it's kind of like the Pokemon World Tournament. I think this was actually called the Pokemon World Tournament. But the Pokemon World Tournament, it was a series that I want to say my college did. And the premise was that you had to use an in-game team. And you could change up the movesets and all that, but you could not change the mod themselves. For example, if you wanted to fight as Cynthia's team, you can use any incarnation of her team and any combination of her mons, but you couldn't change the mons themselves. The guy who used Wally's Oris team, he won the whole thing. The finals was unsurprisingly Cynthia's team versus Wally's team, and the guy absolutely shredded Cynthia's team. I was like, and this is back when Mega Luch was still in the game too, so Mega Gallade versus Cynthia's Garchomp, let me tell you, that Mega Gallade beat the bricks off Cynthia's Garchomp. I was like, that's my boy Wally! I was hyped that grand finals. I mean, the Cynthia players still put up a good fight. Like, it was still down to the wire. I think they went down to their last mon each. It was literally an anime moment. It was Garchomp versus Mega Gallade. That was a peak battle. But all things considered, like I said, Wally is one of my favorite trainers just in the Pokemon universe, period. So I really hope that they do him some justice in the Smith Play series. Also, that guy also was able to use a Gardevoir, but if he used Gardevoir, he had to use base Gardevoir. He couldn't use Mega Gardevoir, so that's why he ended up going with Wally's Oris incarnation. Because honestly, I think his Oris team, if you know about the secret boss fight Wally, yeah, that's the exact team he used, by the way, to fight Cynthia. It was, oh man, I hope, and I know I didn't play that tournament, so those replays are long gone. I didn't even compete, but man, that was such a cool tournament that I was watching. Okay, reach into my satchel, and he gave him exactly one dad. What if he screwed up the capture? Well, I mean, I guess he will just come back. He has a Zigzagoon with him, and yeah, so I mean, our dad has the most confidence in Wally. At least someone did, but you can at least give him 5 Pokeballs. But yeah, being that I did pick, Scotty McScott. Excuse me. Let me guess. From the way you're dressed, are you a Pokemon trainer? Well, maybe not. Your clothes aren't all that dirty. You're either just a rookie, or maybe you're just an ordinary kid. Sorry to take your time. Don't worry, Scott. We'll be in contact soon. We are coming up on Roxanne, so I do have to get a water type. So, preferably Lotad. Although I think Lotad was on the previous route. But let's see if the Smith Plays team put in anything interesting in this tall grass. I mean, Wingull's not terrible here. Honestly, I'm just trying to get past the first gym, because I don't know what kind of... I know that the Smith Plays team definitely buffed Roxanne. So, I'm just trying to get to a point where I can have usable mons, and I think Wingull does get water gun. Well, actually, we don't have to. What do you have to guess? We can just straight up check. Always believe in the Pico. Actually, there's a Shroomish coming up. So, I think that's going to be my team going into Roxanne. I think I'm going to use Wingull and Shroomish. I did use the Lucolo last time, which I'm trying to avoid using the same exact team, which is going to be kind of hard because my dedicated team member on this is going to be Sharpedo, but I cannot just not rock out with a water type until we get our access to Carvanha. So, we shall see. But what I've been trying to say this whole time is that when I went around 2005, I went to a new church. I feel like church, considering everything, was the last place that I would consider, you know, finding someone who was into Pokemon. But I did. I found someone who liked Pokemon at church. But yeah, I had a friend at my church who, when she found out that I liked Pokemon, because I think I would always play my Game Boy when I was waiting for my parents to get out of church because they were in like a lot of the church ministries. So one day, it wasn't her, it was actually her brother. He saw me play Pokemon Emerald one day after church, and I didn't see those two for, I want to say, maybe a month. Then like a month later, as we're leaving, as I'm leaving Sunday school, then he just says, "Hey, wait, Salos, wait right here. About 5 minutes passes, he comes back and he is literally dragging his sister by the arm. He's like, show him. And she just very timidly takes out her 3D, I was about to say 3DS. She very timidly takes out her pink Game Boy SP and she just opens it. She doesn't say anything, by the way. All she does is just opens her Game Boy SP and hands it to me. And I just look at her 3DS and I see that she has a Blaziken, a Sharpedo, a Beautifly, and a Tropius. And she's on the rainy route too, so to this day, I don't know if this is her team. Like, I never really asked, I never really pushed too much on it. But I was like, oh, you like Pokemon? Nice. And she just said, yeah. That's all she said. All she says, yeah. And I was like, yeah, I like Pokemon too. And this is back then. I was not, like I said, I actually am trying to work through my commentary because I'm still not the best at holding conversations. So I'm not the best at holding a conversation, and she clearly wasn't trying to help it progress any further either. So the conversation just kind of fizzled out, just two awkward kids, and then we just kind of moved on, lowballing it. Oh, this guy. So yeah, like I was saying, I would say I'll lowball it, and I'll say because Diamond and Pearl came out in 2006, so it wasn't a very large window at all for me to be playing Emerald. It had to be when I was still brand new to the church. So I'll just say that this took place in 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008. We'll say 2000. Like I said, I'm just gonna lowball it. 2008. Oh, Sand Attack. Yes, please. So I'll say from 2005 to 2008, we never talked again, or we never talked about Pokemon again. And I want to say that's when our parents got closer, because I know that her parents were for sure involved with the marriage ministry, because my parents are registered marriage counselors. I still don't even know the relationship between our parents. I'll probably ask about that discreetly, and I might keep you guys updated. Between the brother and me, we were already getting closer, and my sister, I feel like because she was a gamer, looking again in retrospect, she was a gamer. I don't think my sister really knew how to really reach her. I know that she was playing Pokemon Platinum, and again, I tried to strike up a conversation with her because I was getting a little better and I was just more curious about her. But for some reason, she just never really wanted to talk to me like that. And at first, I thought it might be me. Like I say, maybe she just doesn't like me or something. But she would always make attempts to be friendly. But again, I could never just tell someone's trying to be friendly to you or whatever. But she also wasn't a shy person, because I've seen her at church, and I know that she's very talkative. She's very outgoing. I mean, she is a more reserved girl. I'll give you that. that's just her personality. That she's very soft-spoken, that she's very polite, and she's very kind, but she's not quiet and she's not shy. So, but whenever it came to me, she was just always just reserved, and she just always tripped over her words, and she never really knew how to interact with me. And even my sister, it wasn't any problem with my sister. It truly was. They didn't know how to talk to each other. Like my sister didn't know how to approach a conversation with her. With this situation though, we had common ground in Pokemon. We had common ground in video games. We even liked the same shows. We most definitely had subjects to talk about. And that's when it all kind of comes into perspective that I will never know, because I never got confirmation on this, but I think maybe she might have liked me, and that's why she was always... Well, she always got tongue-tied around me. That's just a theory. Okay! But I'll never know, because the brother never said anything, because the brother was a younger brother. He was younger than me, by the way. So if I couldn't catch on, he for sure wasn't gonna catch on. And my point is sharing this entire story that's taken... God, who knows how long this story has taken at this point, because I've been trying to say this for a minute now, is that I want to kind of dedicate this to a version of her team. I'm not going to use the exact team because, again, in retrospect, she was on the rainy route between Fortree City and Lily Cove, so she might just have mods on her team that were just on that route, because everything on her team was on that route. I think Sharpedo was a legitimate team member, because yeah, Sharpedo, you don't catch on the rainy route. You can just get Carvana very early on. So she probably that Sharpedo probably was a legitimate party member. And I just missed the Pokédex entry again. God, shout out to this era of Pokemon. If you know, you know. There was an era of Pokemon where you could not go anywhere without running into a Breloom. I want to say Diamond and Pearl specifically, because Pokemon Diamond and Pearl is where I got my start with competitive Pokemon. So, 1-Up was the nickname on pretty much every Breloom, because everyone had a Focus Sash Breloom as their lead, because they would always go for Spore, because of course you went for Spore. And back then, I can't remember if Breloom is 60 base speed or 70 base speed, but whatever his base speed is, it wasn't terrible for the time is what I'm getting at. So, it wasn't too uncommon to find Breloom that outsped certain leads, like Skarmory for example. I'm pretty sure if they didn't invest into any speed whatsoever, I'm pretty sure Breloom can outspeed a Skarmory, and especially after a Rock Tomb, but I think the Rock Tomb buff happened in Gen 4, because Rock Tomb in this game is actually kind of terrible, which is another team I'll also be curious about the Smith Plays team. I'll be wondering if they actually made Rock Tomb usable, or if they just kept it utter garbage. But time will tell. Why couldn't I win? Money. Money can't buy you everything, kid. Oh, for sale! Oh! You can just straight up buy berries. Okay. So, yeah, that's my goal, is that I want to recreate her team just so that I can just, you know, I guess that's like, I won't say apology, but maybe just so, if you guys know about the Baby Salos arc, Baby Salos was not a very smart kid. So, this is kind of dedicated to my friend, who I cannot remember the name of. Like, I'm not even trying to be ambiguous, by the way. I legitimately cannot remember her name. So, so the team members for sure are a lock that have to be on the team are Blaziken, Beautifly, and Sharpedo, because those are the 3 mons that I know that she was using on her team and just were not from that random route, because the other ones were Absol, Tropius. I think that's it, and maybe Aggron. I can't remember, but yeah, definitely. I think she did have an Aggron. I don't know, but like I said, the only Insta-Lock that I have to have are Beautifly and Sharpedo. The other 3 mons can be whatever I see fit. That was my first Pokemon friend, by the way. I had another friend who I don't want to say his actual name. I actually do know him. We still keep in touch every now and then. But he was my childhood best friend, even down to the fact that we shared the same birthday. So, but outside of him, and even him, like he enjoyed Pokemon, but I definitely enjoyed it more than him. So, but I mean, he did keep up with it for quite a bit. He stopped playing in Black and White, exactly, because the last time we talked about Pokemon was in the Black and White era, and he did have Pokemon White. So he kept up with for quite a bit, actually. I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting a little overtaxed. I'm just gonna come back. I'm just gonna do like a little grinding session, and then once we're done with the grinding, then we'll go ahead and take on Roxanne. How about that? All right. I'll see you guys in a bit.
How long can we stay awake? Watch it all fall, yeah, we watch it all break. How long till we all fade away? How deep are we gonna sink? Before we know it, we'll be losing our dreams. How deep before we all fade away? So where do we go?
不知道从哪点起，墙上的电视机里，我抱有人不是在工作心结，无法忍受的沉默，代理委托的生活，对抗堕落的困兽，找寻逃脱的十字相交坠落。凛冽的风大带着我的魅力，抛去狂妄自大的鞭子，到想法和现实对垒，越过这台阶去寻找那规则。It's like magic， 举着火把点燃驱散灰色。All I wanna say， we all have the same desire。
I come alive, burn in the night like wildfire. Find me in the blue alone, I'm following the stars. Swear I will fight until I run out of air in my lungs. Fighting for the ones that are lost in the heart. Oh, I know it's hard to see the end. I know it's hard to see the end. We're gonna make it out, my friend.
真正的所谓，擦干那眼泪，不带眼的看法，只是生活的点缀。我看过街头繁华玫瑰的家长换着满天星斗，也感受过随便潦草长的谎言，抛出去能变成本领匕首。历经这生离死别，所能困手指头，管他能不能活，全力以赴的支援朋友，哪怕那竟是我支离破碎的身体变得不能张口，哪怕面目全非的身体变得不能张口，管他的我也绝不退让。
I come alive, burn in the night like wildfire. Find me in the gray alone, I'm following the stars. Swear I will run until I run out of air in my lungs. Fighting for the ones that are lost in the heart. Oh, I know it's hard to see the end. I know it's hard to see the end. We're gonna make it out, my friend. You better run, you better hide inside the eye of the storm. You better run, you better hide inside the eye of the storm. You better run, you better hide inside the eye of the storm.
Run。
You better hide, you better run. We're coming alive, coming alive. In the dead of the night, spread like wildfire, circle you out. Call us the underdogs, fighting in the silence, break the ice. Alive, burn in the night like wildfire. Find me in the great unknown, I'm following the stars. Swear I will fight until I run out of air in my lungs. Fighting for the ones that are lost in the heart. Oh, I know it's hard to see the end. It's hard to see the end. I know it's hard to see the end. I know it's hard to see the end. Inside the hollow it begins. We're gonna make it out, my friend.
We're gonna make it down, my friend.
Alright, So for you guys, that was probably no time at all. That was probably like, hopefully no more than 3 minutes. But for me, in real time, it's been a couple of days. I've been at MomoCon, I've had a blast with my friends, and I'm just slowly getting back into the working world and getting back to regular life. But as you guys can see, we had quite a bit of a grinding session. We actually got a new team member in Pearl, because I guess the Smith Plays team got Spoink, who is a quiet nature. I did not look at anything. I'm looking at all this live because I didn't want to look at things on the grinding session, and then I don't get my full reaction to it. So a quiet nature is actually pretty good for a Grumpig, because I don't think Grumpig is a very fast Pokemon, all things considered. The IVs, 30 attack IVs. Okay, so it's not a terrible mixed attacker. 30 out of 31. 2 speed. That's fine. Like I said, Grumpig is not very fast, so... Well, I don't think it is, at least. Who uses Grumpig? I don't know. 12 special attack. I mean, could do worse, but you also could do better. We got no special attack from the grinding session. We got a little bit of attack IVs, so, you know, is what it is. We also have Shroomish here, who is, yeah, sassy nature. And it learned Mega Drain and Leech Seed during the grinding session, so I'm pretty sure that Roxanne here is going to have... No, I don't think. I know she is, because I know that she has the Hoenn Fossils, which are Lileep and Anorith. So we're not going to be able to purely rely on grass types here, so... Leech Seed is going to be pretty good for... Not for Lileep, obviously, but for Anorith, it will be pretty good against that, so we can at least Leech Seed and whittle down a little bit, so... That was a nice addition. And Pico got Supersonic and Wing Attack, which is pretty much all it needs. You know, Rock Gym, probably not the best I got Wing Attack, but we'll see about Aaron here. I mean, I know I said I'm going to use Beautifly, but... oh, guys, the Beautifly. I'm not looking forward to it. But, we did find Skitty, who is a timid nature, which is... I mean, I guess it's whatever. Skitty is notoriously a bad Pokemon. And I know they're not giving stats all willy-nilly, but they did say that Mons who need it... Oh, also Spoink. What is Spoink's learn set? So, Confusion level 8, Older Sleuth at level 11, Confuse Ray at 15. If we went a little bit, we could have got Confuse Ray, but... I guess we're about to get it. Level 18 Psych-Up, 22 Psybeam. Barrier, Magic Coat, Rest, Sleep Talk, Psychic, Bounce, Yawn. Also, interesting story about Jewel, but I'll save that for the actual gym. I had my first crush when I was in 5th grade, who was Jewel, and I don't know what she was, I just know she was other. I don't know if she... I probably shouldn't say that. That's what my parents call ethnicities that they don't know the name of. So maybe I shouldn't call people other. But, okay, if I had to put a race, I would say maybe she was of Asian descent. Maybe? I guess? But, also, if you guys are OGs, and you also remember from the Pokemon Diamond playthrough, that was at a skunk tank named Jewel. That's also because Jewel had a little bit of BO. I guess people just put up with it because she was just a very nice person. But I think what got me to really look at her in any kind of way is because we were on, I guess other schools call it Track and Field Day. I can't remember what we called it specifically. We didn't call it Track and Field Day, but when we were doing all of that, then Jewel had, I don't know if it was heat stroke because she's got dehydrated in general, but she pretty much ended up fainting, and me and one of my other friends ended up taking her to the nurse's office. And after that, my other friend, he had to leave, but I just kind of sat there after she woke up, and I just kind of talked with her for a little bit. And I don't know, ever since that day, and since we had like that one-on-one time, I just kind of caught feelings. So, it's a very weird way of noticing someone, because obviously I'm pretty sure it's a pretty scarring experience for her. But I don't know, just being, I think that was my first time being alone with a girl for an extended amount of period, so maybe that's something to do with it. But I don't know. But I will never forget Jewel, even though she's probably forgotten me at this point. I never acted on those feelings. I just kind of let her move on once I moved away to public schools. But I don't know. That was just a little memory. But I named Jewel Skitty after Jewel because it was her favorite Pokemon. But I also named her Skunktank. So yeah, now. Alright, Roxanne. Let's see what you got. 3 mines. I got 4. She leads with Anorith. So, well, there we go. Let's go ahead and set up a Confuse Ray. Nice, nice, nice. I've also been playing Crystal Legacy in the background. So, I know that the Smith Plays team, that they're cooking, because let me just say that in base Crystal, because I played Crystal like the back of my hand. I played Crystal too many times to count. I played Heart Gold Soul Silver too many times to count. So I know that Cynical absolutely shreds that game. But in Crystal Legacy, that is not the case. I'll just say that. Okay, going for a scratch. Let's go for an Ember. But actually, this time I've been playing with Chikorita. Oh, with a withdrawal. Okay. Nose Pass. Burn would be huge right here. Burn would be huge. Nope, no burn. We're going to go into 1-up right here, because this is going to be our biggest hurdle to overcome. Rock Tomb. Ugh. Okay, that was a crit. That was a crit. We're fine. But yeah, I've been playing through Crystal Legacy with Chikorita, and to my knowledge, I don't think that Chikorita has gotten buffed at all. But Chikorita just feels a lot better in that game, because all they did is just switch around her moveset a little bit. Because now she gets Rock Throw. Oh, I thought that was Rock Slide. I was about to say Rock Slide on the first gym. Okay, Smith Plays. I was about to say that's a choice, all right, but no, it's just Rock Throw. She's probably gonna use a potion, or maybe they don't use potions on hard mode. We'll see. Yeah, no potions on hard mode. That's cool. All they did for Chikorita is they gave it early game Reflect. They gave it early game Leech Seed. Like, you get Leech Seed and Reflect before level 20, which is actually very, very good for damage reduction purposes. So, Chikorita, it's still not a very powerful Pokemon, but I think that's by design. That's not supposed to be a very powerful Pokemon. So, I don't know, it's been a very cool experience to see Chikorita be an actual tank for the team. But it also makes it very hard to level up, because Chikorita just can't get kills. That's not what it's here to do. That's not what it's made to do. So that was the thing as well. But yeah, we're also on our last mon. We're on Laleep. In my first time playing through Pokemon Emerald, I used nothing but a Swampert, because I was that kid who powered through the entire game with just my starter. Gen 1, I kinda got away with it, but I could never get past the drunk old man as a kid, so I was just a stupid kid. That's also why I'm okay with hand holding in Pokemon, because people say that kids aren't stupid, but yes, kids are in fact stupid. Because I was that stupid kid who couldn't get past the drunk old man. So I would have appreciated the game holding my hand a little bit more, but I was a 4-year-old, so that's also a factor as well. I was probably too young to be playing video games, but it still happens, especially in today's society. But all that aside, I couldn't steamroll through Gen 1 with just my starter. I got to Victory Road in in Gen 2, and in Gen 3 I beat the entire game. I got to Steven, but I couldn't beat Steven because Swampert cannot kill a Leap. A level 80 Swampert cannot kill a level 55 Leap. So I don't know, ever since that, I've always had a soft spot for Cordilli. Please, take this with you too. TM39. I'm pretty sure that's Rock Tomb. Yes, sir. One thing I want to know is, did they actually make Rock Tomb modern stats? No. But they did raise the accuracy to 95, so I'll take it. Rock Tomb is actually a lot better of a move, because in base Emerald, that accuracy is 70, Which I was always wondering why people never use Rock Tomb in the base game, but it's because it's so terrible. I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart on the support and love on the first episode. I was not expecting that great of a turnout. I remember I was literally at MomoCon with my friend, and I saw that video went from 5 views to like 2,000, which is crazy. And also, the only thing I ask is just make sure you're subscribed. If you guys are actually enjoying the series, just double check and make sure you're actually subscribed and hit the subscribe button for me, because I promise that there will be a lot of Pokemon content. Because Monster Hunter, it's Wilds, but I do Monster Hunter on this channel. Monster Hunter and Pokemon are like the main 2 things I do over here. So if you guys want to subscribe for Pokemon or Monster Hunter Wilds, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button. But YouTube is very good at sending you videos your way that you've watched all the way through, so you don't really have to subscribe to people. But my goal is to hit 1,000 subs, so I'm like right there. I'm only about 300 away, so it'll mean the world to me if you hit that subscribe button. And next time we will go ahead and we will see what's going on with that guy with his goods. But with all that being said, I'm about to get up out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next episode. Till then, shine blazingly bright, my greatest treasures.